What's up, everybody? I'm Kansu, and this is the Crystal Corner. Today is more so of a celebration than it is me discussing a particular topic. Okay. Today, I'm going to tell you guys about something that I've been trying to do for a while now, man. And you know what that is? I'm going to tell you. I found my way up off the plantation and quit my job to pursue my spiritual business full time. And I'm gonna tell you how I was able to go ahead and do that. Okay. Yes. Yes. I quit my job. I had to. I had to get up out of there. How many of y'all out there hate working for somebody? Now, don't get me wrong. There's nothing wrong with working for other people. You know what I'm saying? Especially if they're helping you pay your bills and, just get to where you got to go. But before I get on the topic of how I was actually able to start my job, I'm going to go ahead and just tell you guys my background. Excuse me. Beautiful tree. It's cold out here today, so if I sniff a little bit, that's because, like I said, it's cold. And I'm gonna have a seat by this big tree here, just so that I can continue to deliver this message and be clear with it, keep myself grounded. Because when I start traveling, my heart chakra starts going like this. It gets a little hard to breathe. So, with that said, we're gonna have a seat. Now, for those of you that are new to the channel, I want to say thank you for stopping by. We really appreciate you. Make sure that you hit that subscribe button so that you get notified every time I post a video, and that notification bell. Not only that, guys, make sure that you comment on the video. It helps the video out. It helps other people be able to see it, and it helps it with the algorithm. If you guys aren't really engaged in the video, it's not being put out there. But it's neither here nor there. Okay. So it's 2019 currently, and this is officially my 10th year of my spiritual study, as far as studying different religions and different cultures, different deities, and things like that, that kind of got me into my craft, my witchcraft, you know what I'm saying? And all of this started back in 2009 when I went to college. Raise your hand if you went to college. Shouts out to y'all. High five everybody that went to college. High five to everybody that graduated from any trade school, tech school, high school. Congratulations to you. I'm proud of you, and I know that was very hard to do. So I started at Kent State University, one of the best schools in the world. Shouts out to all my flashes for life. Okay? Excellence in action is what we're all about at Kent State University. So I took my excellence and put it into action. I actually came into the knowledge of the Orishas through a course I took at Kent State called Black Experience. Okay. And soon as I took that class, I had a fascination with the Orishas. The first one that caught my ear, you know what I'm saying, when I heard the name was Shango. It was just something really, really powerful about the name Shango. So I'm like, who is this cat? So I started studying Shango, and I found out that he's like the god of thunder. I found out his basic colors and stuff like that. Blah blah blah. And then after you study the Ori, specifically Shango, you discover there's a whole bunch more of them. And then you take another class, or you just continue down the rabbit hole, as I would call it. This was my journey into Wonderland. I actually might call the video "How My Journey to Wonderland Got Me to Quit My Job," something like that. We'll see. Um, So yeah, like I was saying, was taking that class and stumbled across the Orishas, and then from the Orishas, I started to study the Egyptian deities and stuff like that. Then I took a break because the more that I was studying, the more that I was waking up, I started to notice that I would lose my friends. Like the more knowledge that you get, you start looking crazy to people. So I say about 2011, 2012, somewhere around there is when I really like was like, okay, fuck it. I don't care what y'all think. This is what I'm about to do. This is what I'm studying. I'm not going to church no more. I'm not I'm just not rocking with it. There's too many other things out here. There's too many unanswered questions. So that started me on the journey of, you know, what it is that I came here to do. And I was a geography major, environmental geography. So I study, nature, rocks and stones and map making and why the weather works and how trees grow, you know what I'm saying? Not knowing that me studying that was actually me getting on my path to where I'm at now. Because I studied all, rock formations and the volcanic cycles and the water cycle and stuff like that, I happened to stumble across crystals just in the book, just in the textbook in school, you know, and I just found it really cool. Like, there's different kinds of stones outside of diamonds. Everybody knows about diamonds. Most people know about limestone and sandstone and stuff like that because we learned about it back probably like middle school science class, you know what I'm saying? But for me, it was different. So I was really fascinated by those stones in that class. And, in one of the buildings we have on campus, they actually had a big display, okay, of all of the different types of stones. So there was these big, huge crystal, like quartz crystals in there, big chunk of amethyst. And, when you're taking the scientific background of that, you learn that different mineral deposits and different stones dictate color. Like, let's say you have a clear quartz, right? And that clear quartz is around like some kind of iron deposit. What you'll end up with sometimes is a lithium quartz, which is like a clear quartz that has kind of an orange tint to it. That might not be the exact name for it. Um, and maybe like a rose quartz because that rusty red color does something to it. I'm just, throwing a stone out there, the first one that came to my mind. Um, but like I was saying, at that building, they had the big display. So, fast forward, same town, Kent State, definitely is the reason why I'm on this. If you guys are looking to go to a school, Kent State, I definitely recommend, but I'm biased. Um, but downtown Kent, there's a store, and this lady works in there. She's still there now, you know what I'm saying? And she's got a very small crystal shop in there. So I started, going in there because I was looking for some new earrings. I didn't feel like driving all the way to Claire's or whatever to go get some earrings or whatever. So I was like, you know what? Let me go downtown and see what they got. Oh, let me get some wings, and then I'm go to the store. Long story short, this lady's in there and she starts telling me about stones, and I'm like, okay, I really like this one. What's this one? And she would be like, okay, this is an amethyst. I'm like, okay, what is amethyst? And she told me, well, that one's for your third eye. I'm like, hold on, wait a minute. These stones have a purpose outside of what I read in the textbook. You know what I mean? Like, I thought these were just different color rocks, and you know, different mineral deposits make different colors. That I know, but I did not know about them having a purpose outside of just being rocks. Because like most people, when they come across crystals or whatever, they be like, "Oh, those are rocks." They're not. So she hands me a book, or she went and looked in a book. It was called the Crystal Bible. Definitely recommend the Crystal Bible if you guys are interested in getting into crystals. I lived out of that book for literally about 3 years of this story. Okay, so um, she gives me the book, and in the book, there's different description to different stones. So, like, let's say you're looking up amethyst, right? And you pull up the page amethyst, it'll tell you how to meditate with amethyst, what it does, what it's for, and where to place it on your body. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna try it. I bought an amethyst, I bought a rose quartz, I bought a clear quartz, and some selenite. Basic stones, right? That's why I recommend in one of my previous videos those as your basic beginner stones. Why? Rose quartz is for your heart chakra. It's kind of like the amplifier of the body, so to help you tap into other stones. Clear quartz helps you see. I mean, not clear quartz. Amethyst will help you to see. It's for your third eye, so you place it here on your third eye. Selenite clears your energy and keeps that circuit clean and charged. And then clear quartz, you can put it wherever else you need. And you only got a couple dollars, you try to get some stones, it's not going to run you that much. So I started meditating with these stones. I started reading out the book, and I had an epiphany moment. It was like, wow, these stones really work. I'm somebody that used to get a lot of migraines, right? And I have digestion issues. If you're a cancer out there and you have digestion problems as far as like, your stomach, that's because you're cancer and that's the part of the body we rule. Every zodiac sign rules a different part of the body, but that's Neither here nor there, I digress. So, like I was saying, I have, or had migraines. So I started using amethyst and carrying it around and actually got some amethyst beads and wired them into my hair just because I would lose them. I would drop them out of my pockets and stuff like that, and they disappear. So I was like, you know what? I know if I put them in my hair and just wire them into my hair, um, they're just going to be here. You know what I'm saying? They're not going to disappear. I'll be able to hold on to them for them longer. What I didn't know was that was me creating an antenna to the spirit world. That was me keeping that energy and that vibration very high and opening up my third eye at a very quick level. Not saying that I wasn't always aware, because I was. I've always been inquisitive and asking questions about different religious practices and stuff since I was younger. I just couldn't get the answers. This part of the story is where I started to get my answers. Okay. So, me working with stones, I started collecting the hell out of crystals. Okay, started collecting them, buying different ones. What's this one? What's that one? Telling people about it. Started using it for healing practices and everything like that, which snowballed me to a couple years later with an idea. And this idea was, you know what? I'm pretty good with these stones. Everybody asks me questions about it. I think that I could start a business selling crystals. I was doing readings at this time too, but I wasn't ready to do readings for other people as well. That was another facet of the spiritual train that I was on. Like I said, I had a lot of revelations, and one of those was me realizing that I was an oracle. So I bought my first deck of oracle cards, which was the Isis Oracle, and the Isis Oracle deck helped me to realize that I am an oracle, and I started doing readings for myself and others probably around about 2015, just not on a larger scale. Okay, but as far as the crystals go, I was like, you know what? I want to start a business. I could start a business around this. I went to go visit my mom, and for Christmas that year, and I was listening to Erica Badu upstairs in the room, and I happened to scroll past the post on Instagram. So shouts out to Erica, and she said, "Write it down on a real piece of paper and watch how real it gets." I didn't know how true that statement was, man. This is literally a manifestation that took years. So if you guys are working on something, okay, and it's an idea that you have and it's not popping up immediately, big things take time. Okay, that's what my whole story is about. So I'm one of those people that has a scientific mind, right? So I have a tendency to be very, very analytical and very literal. So through my studies, like I said, figure out what real paper is. Well, real paper is papyrus. That's what they used to write on back in ancient Egypt. You dig me? So I go get me real paper from an art supply store that just so happened to be in Kent. And while I was in there, they had calligraphy ink. I was like, "Oh, you guys make ink quills?" They're like, "No, but you can get the tip. We have the sticks for it." And the stick just wasn't kicking for me. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't rocking. I couldn't do it. So I bought the tips, and I had been collecting feathers. That's something that I do forever since I was a kid. You know what I'm saying? Feathers are messages from the spirit world. So you hold on to them, and I like to put them onto my altar. It helps spirit communicate through your altar, but it also helps your ancestors like float their voice onto you. They can also be, different messages for things that are going on in your environment and things that you should look out for. But um, man, so many things right now. I'm channeling. So let me go back. So we went to the store. I had some goose feathers. That's where I was at. I had some goose feathers, and I decided to make a quilt. You put the tip on the bottom, tape it on there, and then you dip the ink in the quill, kind of like they used to do way back in the day with that feather pen they used to rock with. It's the ink and quill. And I wrote what I wanted down on parchment, folded it up. I think I threw it out or put it in a book. I really don't remember what I did with that piece of paper, but that's the good part, because when you're working with manifesting or, like writing yourself checks and stuff like that, the idea is to get rid of it. You don't want to remember what you wrote. You don't want to remember what you did. But I do remember me writing down just a basic idea. I want to start a business. I don't want to work for anybody else. Blah, blah, blah. It was the first time I did it. So then I go through another period of growth and I'm reading everything. I mean, I was reading a book a day, just literally a book a day for like 6 months, trying to study the zodiac and numerology and crystals and business and how to run stuff. And I stumbled across other creative talents and ended up rediscovering that I could paint and draw and stuff like that because it's stuff I didn't have time to do. I was working in high school, and I was in the band. You know what I'm saying? I was in the marching band. I did jazz band. I did track, taking care of cousins and all kinds of stuff. I didn't have time to. But after I graduated college is when all of these things started to come out. So with all of that said, I'm like, man, I could do a lot. I still really want to work this business. This is maybe like a year later. Okay, so in that notebook where I was writing all my notes from everything I was studying, I just wrote down everything that I wanted for my business. And I wrote down prices. And I wrote down the types of things that I wanted to offer later on down the road, and the types of oils, and the types of candles, and the types of readings I was going to do. Just had it sit in a notebook, continue to study, continue to study. Did not know that that was my blueprint literally for my business. So, like I said, when you write it down on real paper with the real pen, you'll see how real it gets. It becomes something that you can't even stop from manifesting. So the last few places that I've worked, I just felt like I'm not going to be doing this for too much longer. And that brings me to today, where 10 years later, from the beginning of my story, as far as me beginning to come into spiritual practice and spiritual knowledge and learn stuff, 10 years later, I'm able to and was able to quit my job and work completely for myself. And right now I do readings. I have crystals, I have herbs, I have baths. Um, I do once again I do readings of all sorts. That is my thing. But you guys got to make sure that you contact me by email for booking, and please book soon because the spots are filling up fast. Right now I am so blessed and so thankful to be doing about 100 sales a week right now. And with those sales, um, that was something that I manifested too. You know, it's just so much to do, so many things to do in so little time. So with those readings, guys, just make sure that you reach out to me for booking so that you can get scheduled as soon as possible because the waiting list is a little long now. If you're local, I do readings out of a shop here called Spirit Apothecary. Um, and you'll have to contact me via my Instagram, which is at Crystal Corner for details on that. But yeah, I just wanted to give you guys my background story. I don't think I did that, but it's this the story's kind of creating a new book now. We're starting something new. With that said, I wanted to give you how I actually quit my job, but what led up to that. You know what I'm saying? If you guys are trying to do something, you guys are trying to start something, take your time, write it down, and don't put too much pressure on yourself. It's going to happen. Everybody's timetable is different. Okay. For those of you that are in college right now and are trying to finish, I don't care if you're undergrad, grad, associate's degree, whatever you're studying right now, don't worry about how fast someone else did it. Okay. The last thing that you should be doing is comparing yourself to someone else. There's only one you, right? So why are you looking at somebody else to figure out what you should be doing? It took me 5.5 years to graduate with a 4-year degree. But you know what? I walked across the stage. My mama, grandma, auntie, and them was there. You feel me? And I had that accomplishment. It's on your time, on your terms. Keep pushing, and you can quit your job too. If I can do it, anybody can. I promise. If you guys have any questions, comments, or concerns, please comment below or email me directly. Um, and that's it, man. I'm Kansu from the Crystal Corner, and I'm gonna get at y'all at a later date. Peace.